Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to J Daddy's Garage. It is Monday, October 9th, 2023. And yes, I am a happy, happy man right now. You probably have seen the picture I have posted on the front of the thumbnail for this video or for this session. But let me just step aside for a second and show you that there is another Mach 1 sitting in my garage. And I am very happy about that. We'll talk more about that in a minute, but I hope everybody's doing well. I know there is tremendous turmoil going on in the world right now. I do not want to end up on my, um, you know, I don't want to be up on the soapbox talking, but it's difficult to celebrate such things as where we're at right now and realize that there is just insanity going on around the world. And my heart goes out to those who have been affected by all this. And uh, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Um, we're all human beings. That's about all I can say. We're all human beings, and we should be able to live together. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. All right. So again, it is Monday. It is fall. The weather is fantastic. Temperatures have been dropping, and that is amazing. You get through the hot summer, and you start enjoying the cooler temperatures. Have the doors open, all those sort of things. And it was a good weekend. Last week was pretty decent. I didn't get a whole lot done. Had some appointments I had to go to for medical stuff, and also I was welding on Slither, and in the process I ran out of welding gas, so I had to go get some welding gas. And of course, we had scheduled, Roger and I had scheduled to go pick up the Mach 1. And so we did that on Saturday. We left bright and early. Left at 4 in the morning, drove up towards Charlotte, and met with the owner or the seller of the car. And, it was probably almost better than I expected it to be. I know I had shown pictures on the live stream a couple weeks ago, and then I shut down that live stream just because I didn't want to risk having a problem. And the owner was fantastic, super nice guy, car guy. He has his own I don't know if it's a 71, 2 or 3 Mach 1. Well, it was a Mach 1, but now it's a Boss 351 car. He cloned it into a 351 car. Just beautiful car. And he had his own shop, restoration shop, all this stuff. And he had intentions of rebuilding this Mach 1 for his wife, but he said he got burned out. He didn't want to mess with much of anything anymore, and I get that. That happens. So he posted that car, put it up for sale, and I happened to be the second person to call him on that car. The other person had called and said they could not come see it or could not do something because of their work schedule. And I told him on that phone call, looking at the pictures and talking with him, I said, I will take that. I will take it off your hands. I'll pay you what you're asking. And the deal was made. And he was a man of his word, and I'll give him all the credit for that, because I've had situations where I've made a purchase over the phone, um, being on Marketplace or whatever, and I've actually gone so far as to drive, in one instance, about an hour and a half south of where we live to get a 72 Chevy Cheyenne. And as I'm getting there, and the guy knew I was coming, I had called him on the way. I had called him before I left, and he had agreed to sell it to me. And when I got there, somebody else was loading up that truck, and I was furious. I'll be honest, I was furious. Um, Not only did I waste what amounted to about almost 4 hours of my time, but he had agreed to make that deal. And this guy, super nice. He was more than happy to help us load it up, give information on it, and I'm very, very pleased with this purchase. There will be more on it later. I did a video for my patrons so they could see pretty much everything that I could show at this point, and just again, if this car Slither is a great project, but we all know that it had incredible rust issues. I mean, it really, really did. This car over here, I don't even know if I could say it's 1 to 2% rust. That's it. I mean, literally, maybe 2% is as high as I would go with any kind of rust issues. Not maybe not. I can't even say. I'm probably more like 1%. Now I will take that back. The body and all that floor pan, all that, yes. But there is a few spots on what would be the original fenders. I know on the driver's side fender, there's a section about that big that's rusted through. It's gone. And I don't know about the driver's, that was the driver's side. I don't know about the passenger side original fender. I think there was a dent on top of it. And the doors, the original doors, it has some rust in the corners, as they all do, because it collects junk down in this front corner and rear corner. So what came with this car was 2 new fenders, 2 new doors, the original doors, the original fenders, which I will probably try to use the originals as much as I can. I'll patch them or whatever. It comes with a pair of quarter skins, which they probably didn't need. He didn't cut off the quarters. The guy who had it before him had cut off the quarters. So anyway, we went through the whole process, looking it over. There was a little gray area. I'll say that. I was a little concerned because he had a title for it. And amazingly enough, the front aprons, the VIN numbers are on the front aprons, and there is 0 rust in those aprons. They've never been cut on, the core support, all that stuff, no rust whatsoever. So the VIN numbers were there, and that was great, but the one on the dash was not, and that had me concerned. So he had brought out a small bag and said, here's the VIN number, and it wasn't the VIN number. It was actually a trim tag, and it was in this little bag right here. It was a trim tag, and so I thought, oh, that's not good. So I started looking at it, and I realized that trim tag was not for this car. It was from a Grande, 69 Grande, or 7, whatever. Yeah, 69. And I was like, this isn't it, And so he, thankfully, had another bag, this bag, that had not only the VIN number, a VIN plate, but it also had the buck tag off the firewall or off the apron. So it's lacking the trim tag, which is not a big deal. You can get those remade from Marty, and I'll probably do that through Marty Report and get that taken care of. But we loaded it up, and I've got a couple pictures to show you real quick. Because, let's see, so we had it loaded up, as you saw in that main picture. There you can see we didn't have the doors on. The hinges weren't on, so we couldn't put the doors on. But ended up, the 2 of the doors were inside the car, had straps all over the place, holding everything down. And then in the Suburban, well, here's another shot of the car. And those quarter panels are not good quarter panels. Those are the quarter skin overlaps. I will not be using those. I'll be getting some Dynacorn quarters and putting those on, or at least sectioning them in the bottom 2/3, let's say. The back of the Suburban had plenty of stuff in it, and there were 2 hood scoops, front valance. Oh, there's the original valance, a new front valance, package tray, seat backs, all kinds of pieces and parts, and then the back seat was stacked up with all kinds of stuff. And a lot of it was labeled and numbered and all that, so it's really, really good. There's new brake rotors and calipers, a new steering wheel, just a whole bunch of stuff. And there is so much stuff that we have to go back this coming weekend. We thought we had it figured out because there's 2 engines too. There's a 351 Windsor and a 351 Cleveland, 2 transmissions, and stacks of other boxes. So, gonna have to go back and make a second trip to get all of that stuff. And the guy was cool about it. He's like, I told you there was a lot of stuff, and I didn't realize there was that much stuff. And I took pictures of all of those things that are coming with it. So we'll have to get up there and again make the round trip Saturday. Get up early, hit the road, and take my smaller trailer just to get all that stuff. So anyway, we'll may talk more about that later. I don't plan to. I'm not going to start on the car. I mean, it's here. That's all that matters. And I've got to work on a name for it. I've been bouncing some different names around, and so we may talk about that in a minute. But at this point, I'm just happy to have it here, and I want to get everything, all the parts, set aside, and then continue to work on Slither and get it up and running, or, up together. So that's where we're at right now. So let's see who is here tonight. We have 43 people watching. If you're new to my channel, I ask you to participate, be part of the program. I like to have people ask questions or make comments, all that stuff. It helps with the whole process, and it makes the live stream better for everybody. And if you would hit the thumbs up, get involved, and you get a bell for being here and or participating. So just keep that in mind. Okay, first in, Rick Stevenson. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Rick. And when Rick shows up, I have to drink some coffee. It's just how it goes. Out of my favorite cup. Just saying. All right. Rick Gain is here. Looking forward to hearing about the new car. Like, comment, and make sure all are subscribed. Yes. We had somebody on the Facebook page ask about the live stream, and Rick was very good about it, telling him, when it was, and the fact that you have to be subscribed to be involved. So we were getting people that were not the best people to have, and they were just ruining the whole process. So I had to limit it to people that are subscribed to the channel. So Derek Pro says, "Hi Rick and Rick, we are early today. Hope all is well." So there's Derek checking in from Australia, down under. Derek says, "Hi Barry, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Love the new toy, Barry. You're as bad as me. We will never be out of work." No, that's a fact. Terry Keithley checking in. Evening all, Barry. Please hit thumbs up, like. Thank you kindly. Thank you, Terry. Jerry checking in from the Money Pit. Sorry, I won't make the live tonight. Well, you get a bell anyway, because you cared enough to make a comment. So thank you. Goose Garage. Hope everyone is doing well. Okay, that's a different name. I know I haven't seen Goose Garage before, but I'm glad you're here. Dave Britton. Hope everyone is doing well now that I'm signed in with the right account. Okay. So I don't know if that means something that we should know. Are you Goose Garage? You would be Goose Garage, would you, Dave? But anyway, he's up in the Great White North, so glad you're here, Dave. Troy Justit. Happy Monday. Nice score with the Mach One. Thank you. I agree 100% on that. Dave Conville checking in. Hello, all. Hello, Dave. Glad you're here. The Dawn. Hello, Barry and everyone watching Mach One Monday live. Yes. Glad you're here, Dawn. Jerry is checking in. Howdy, Barry. Howdy, y'all. Just wanted to get my high in before Robert. Thank you, Jerry. Hindsight 6-7. Roger checking in from next door. We had a good trip, didn't we, Raj? There's a couple scary moments with that trip, but nothing too bad. Robert, evening all. We're all jealous of and happy for Barry and his new toy and how clean it is. And that is, it is. I can't get over it. Dave Tyson, good evening all. Good evening, Dave. Glad you're here. Dawn's Manufactory. Hello from Soggy PDX. Betsy will be immobile for a few days. Uh-oh. I hope it's nothing bad. Maybe I hope it's just the weather keeping you out of there. But glad you're here, Dawn. I don't know if I gave you a bell. Give you another bell just in case. Rick Stevenson. Glad to see that you got your very own 69 Mach 1. Yes. Yes. I can't tell you. I hate to, put it this way, but it's like a 40-year itch that I finally scratched. That's what it comes down to. I'll say it that way. 40-year itch that finally got scratched. I've been looking off and on for a long, long time to find a car that would suit my need. I didn't need it to be this good. Obviously, I'm happy that it's this good. It could have been much worse condition, and if it was what I wanted, if it was a Mach One, I probably would have bought it. But I'm so excited that I don't have to do hardly anything overall. I mean, there's just a few little spots of rust that have to be fixed, and those quarter panels, which probably didn't need cut off to begin with. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll get it back together. Chris Greenaway says hi, and Acapulco Blue all the way. Thank you, Chris. That is more than likely the color. When I initially was looking at the car, or looking at the information for the car, he had thought that it might have been a white. And so that's what I went with that option, thinking I showed pictures to my wife of a white Mach 1 and an Acapulco Blue, and I said, these are my choices. And I confused her with that because I think she was thinking that they only came in white or Acapulco Blue. And I was like, oh, no, no, no. There's like probably at least 30 different colors for this car. But, the Acapulco Blue is what my dad had. And it's been that closet dream, I guess, of cars for me. And so that's 99% sure that it's going to be Acapulco Blue. The original color of this car was some sort of yellow. We're not even 100% sure if it was meadowlark yellow or just a pale yellow. I did find, I don't have it up here, I could have brought it up. Amazingly enough, it has the mirrors that came with it, because the code says racing mirrors, whatever. It has the mirrors, and there was a brand new mirror with the remote, cable control in a box. And I looked at those mirrors because I was like thinking, why did they buy this new mirror? Well, the original mirror for the driver's side was the mirror itself was gone. But I picked up the housing and I was like, oh, that was the color. So it's some sort of a light yellow, which I'm not going to do that. But Acapulco Blue is number one choice right now. Steve Reed, hello Joe Daddy and everyone from, I'm going to say Paducah. I think you skipped a few letters there, but we'll go with Paducah. I don't even. I guess the P is silent on that. What you're putting there, I don't know. Glad you're here, Steve. Danny Alvey, I like the new toy. I like the new to you 69. Yes, definitely. Chris, raining all week with a gravel driveway and a carpet protecting Beth from the weather, trying to save 10 grand for garage. Yep. That's always difficult to have that situation. Rodney Mize, hello from Sulphur Springs, Texas. Hello, Rodney. Glad you're here. That's a new name. Richard Vogel, good evening, Barry. Congrats on your great Mach 1 purchase. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate that. Derek, I'm old school also. It's so great talking to people, learning the history, and getting the whole vibe over the phone. These days on Facebook, etc., people want to do deals over Facebook. No way, Jose. Well, that was the nice part about it. He had put in the ad, he had posted in code, had put in his phone number. And I had sent him a message, like it was up for sale for like 10 hours. And I saw his number in there, and I sent him a message on Facebook, and then I sent him a text message telling him I was interested. And then nothing, I didn't hear anything. So the next day I sent him another message in the morning, and I said, when can I call you? And he said, right now. So I called, and he had told me, like I said, he got off the phone with somebody who could not make it there to make the deal with him. And we basically talked on the phone, and I think he realized too, with the questions I was asking and some background knowledge between the two of us, he knew that I knew what I was talking about with his car. And so I think he was very trustworthy in what I was saying. And so it was pretty cool. Colin, hey everybody, nice cool week here in upstate New York, getting my motor running this week and chopping wood on the side. Well, that's two good things. So yeah, Dave Tyson, you wished it had more rust. No, I don't. Man, yeah, I definitely I'm not disappointed. Man, let me just tell you, honestly. Now, other than doing like finish body work, that sort of thing, I could probably have the quarter panels on it, fix the other minor rust in 2 to 3 days. Yeah, probably 2 to 3 days, and have it almost, getting it ready for primer. That's how minimal anything is on this car. It's just, uh, I just can't get over it. Let's see, Donnie Williams, greetings. Oh, he says from greetings from your cougar cousin. Well, thank you, Donnie. Welcome to the chat. Colin, is the new 69 a keeper or a work on to sell car? Nope. This is, and that this might be one of the name choices. My Mach. My wife suggested that tonight, that it's called My Mach. One of the other names I had thought about was Munchie Mach. The reason I said that was because it was made in, I don't know how you say it. I keep forgetting how to say it. New Jersey. McCutcheon or whatever it is, New Jersey. And so I was like, Munchie. I'll just put the word, scrunch it up, make it Munchie Mach. So that was initially what my thought was, but then my wife said you should call it My Mach because it's my car, and that means a lot, really, because it is mine. It can't be sold from under me. So anyway, good question, Colin. If I didn't already give you a bell, I don't know. Rick Ain, how long until that Mach 1 is as nice as Jade? It won't take long. It honestly won't. It really, really won't. Um, there's so little that has to be fixed. The hardest part may be okay. So it was a 351 Windsor car, and it comes with a Cleveland, but I'm not putting the Cleveland in it. I will probably sell that to somebody who needs it. Um, and then I have to decide on what I'm going to do with the Windsor, whether I'm going to build it back stock or make maybe a stroker motor out of it or something like that. And then I really am thinking my dad's car was a 4-speed. I'm really thinking I want to make it a 5-speed. So get a T5 and put in it. So I got to do some conversion there, get some pedals. But yeah, there's just hardly anything difficult other than figuring out the engine and transmission combination stuff. So Rick says, for a name, how about Mock Dave? Nah, I don't think I'm going to go with that. Derek Prost wanted to shop extension. Name Aussie slang. Oh, let's see. Aussie slang name Macha, maybe spelt Macha, Macha. Um, mm, I'll consider it. I don't know if I could do an extension on the shop at this point, but I would love to. Troy, since it's a 54-year-old rust-free Miracle, I suggest the Miracle Mach. That's not a bad idea either. I like that. The Miracle Mach. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Robert, I mentioned a shop extension built to him and will come, build to him and will come help too. Yeah, I don't know what the restrictions would be right now on the property and what the county may or may not let me do. That's the catch. So I don't know for sure. Dave Britton says, yeah, I am Goose Garage as well. Thank you, Dave. Kind of figured as much. Dwight Douglas, hello from Indiana. Hi, Dwight. Glad you're here. I don't remember seeing your name before. If you're new, welcome. If not, well, welcome anyway. Richard Byrne, hi everyone. Love the Mach 1. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate that. Roger, it was definitely a good trip, not one of our sketchier trips. Well, the difficulty with this trip, okay, so we knew there were engines and transmissions and all that stuff, and we were I considered getting a bigger trailer. And that's what I did. Well, you may not be able to tell from this picture right here, but this is a pretty substantial trailer. I mean, it was rated for 10,000 pounds. And the problem was, once we saw all the stuff and realized the plan was to probably try to set both of the engines on the front and then the car behind it and just pile parts on. Well, we realized pretty quick that there was no way the Suburban was going to handle all that. Putting all that stuff inside the vehicle and realizing how many boxes were still there. Nope, give up on it. So it could have been. It was. We were probably overweight. I'll say that. We were definitely heavier than we needed to be, even with the just what we kept in it. But we made it home safely. The only really scary part, I say scary because we're coming down the interstate, 60, 65, somewhere in that range, maybe 70. The trailer's towing beautiful, straight, flat. Can't complain at all about the trailer. I forget where we were at on the interstate, but it doesn't matter. A big four-wheel drive GMC or something was coming up beside us. Excuse me. And, I'm always looking in my mirrors, checking my surroundings, and I see that truck coming, and I'm kind of looking. I look ahead. All of a sudden, I hear what is a crotch rocket motorcycle, and there's basically a flash of a bike passing between me and that GMC truck. And I know he had to get around the tires from the trailer back around the GMC sort of and not hit my mirror on the way through. And I swear if he was doing anywhere less, I would say he had to be doing well over 130, 140 miles an hour. Because we were moving and he was in and out and gone so fast that I jumped because I never saw him in my mirror, nothing. Boom. And if that guy had caught the mirror of the Suburban or the trailer, it would have been all over. He would have just been mush. But that was probably the scariest moment in that process. Dave Britton, now that you said you had a couple of scary moments, you're going to have to tell us what they were, the VIN plate being one of them. Yeah. The VIN plate was a concern that it wasn't there, wasn't on the dash, and he pulled it out of a bag. So I do have the VIN plate for the dash, so I'm set with that. But I still have to get I'll have to get a trim tag made. The trim tag might be on the original doors, which are still there. I have the two new doors in the car. That's what's in that box, and then one on top of it. But I didn't look at the door. They may be on the door. If not, I'll get one made. But I'm probably gonna have to get I want to get a Marty report too. You look at those codes and it gets a little confusing. But he has a title for it and everything. It's a 63C code, which is fastback Mach One. It talked about the seats, whatever. All those things on the buck tag that tell you what it is. Crush Rider a little late, but watching from beautiful southern Indiana. Hit the like button. Nice addition to your stable. Yeah. It is a stable at this point, yeah. Mike Wencho, good afternoon, sir. Mike from Cleveland, Ohio, home of the Browns. I'm sorry. I have nothing against the Browns. I really don't. I'm a lifelong Steelers fan. Don't take it personal. Just saying. They beat the Ravens. That's all that matters. They beat the Ravens this week. Chris Barry, I'm not going to say it, but it's plausible fate as a man of faith. I believe your father realized that it meant everything to you, and the cards have been decided when the right card came. I don't know if I'd go that way. You'd have to know my dad. You would really have to know my dad. I would venture that if my brother was still alive and my sisters were able to make part of this conversation, they would disagree with you. I'm just saying. Just saying. So, I mean, it's a good thought, but I'm really doubtful in instance. And he says some things in life we can't explain it. That is true. That is true. So I can go with that. But I don't know that. Yeah, I'll just not go down that path very far. Rick, paint the new car Gulfstream Aqua. It will still be a shade of blue. No, no. It's either, unless my wife picks out some other color, it's probably going to be Acapulco blue with the black stripes, the black hood, and the scoop, as seen here. The 5-speed and black interior, all that stuff. Yeah, because I have another thought too. Don't tell my wife. She might be listening in right now. So I'd already mentioned that I'm probably going to sell Jade, right? And that's still on my list after I get a few things done to it. But I have this vision that I was talking to Roger about because the other almost rust-free car that I have is the 68 Coupe I called Poco. And that car really is just about as rust-free, if not even, yeah, probably just about as rust-free as the Mach One. That's this car right there. Believe it or not, the original color of that car is also Acapulco blue. Yeah, it is Acapulco blue. Now, the idea was because I really like Nick has his supercar he built. You probably may have seen that car. I think I posted some pictures of this car that Nick has put together, and he built that to be. Oh, let me give you better pictures. He had built that to basically be like a track car. Okay, there's another shot. I think. Let me bring it up. There it is. And I like that idea of a track car or a autocross type of car. Now, I do not want to use the Mach 1 as an autocross car. It's too big and heavy. It's heavier than the 68, from my understanding. The Mach 1s are heavier. So I would consider taking the other 68 and really building that into kind of a more of a performance type of car for like autocross. Paint them both the same color, maybe, and have one for the race day and one for just cruising and having fun. I don't know. In a perfect world, that's probably where it would go, but there's a lot on my plate to deal with, so I'll get there eventually. Or at least get one of them done eventually. Dave, you'll have to get a Marty report and let us know what it says. Okay, that would be the plan. Michael Pagliarini, hello all from Rhode Island. Do you know what the original powertrain was? It was a 351 Windsor with an automatic. Ford 9-inch and 275 rear gear ratio. I'm assuming a C4. The transmissions that I'm getting, I believe, is a C4 and an FMX. The Cleveland motor was out of a Torino, and I think it said on the transmission 74 Torino FMX. So that's about all I know from that. But it was a two-barrel, I believe, a two-barrel Windsor car. Manual steering, manual brakes, no AC. There is a console with the car. I'm assuming it came that way. It has the wood grain dash, as they all did. That's the mirrors. Oh, and it says GT on it. So Roger was looking that up, and we're thinking it was a suspension option, the GT, because they did away. When he was reading up on it on the way back, and the '68 they had a GT, and then the '69 the GT became the Mach 1. And so the coding kind of crossed over on that, I think. So, but that's as far as I know at this point. Now, it will have disc brakes on the front at least, and I will put on power steering, of course, power brakes. I don't know if I'll put in air conditioning yet. I haven't decided on that. So that's another thing to think about further down the road. But glad you're here, Michael. If I didn't already give you a bell, you get a bonus bell. Dawn, you could paint it not blue and have twins. Yeah. Well, that's yeah, that's kind of the idea with the other with using the other car. Tony Martinez, Brownwood, Texas, in the house. Glad you're here, Tony. Rusty's Restoration. Hello, everyone. Barry, a little late today. Thumbs up, all. Yes, thank you, Rusty. Or Russ. Ed Cucharella, my mock. I like it. That's high on the list. It really is. Rick, you don't need rust on the new car. Crunchy had enough rust for both of them. Yeah, that's true. Colin, excited to see some videos and progress on it. They'll come. This is the priority still. Keep that in mind. This is the priority. That's the priority. Danny Alvey, Metuchen, New Jersey. Okay. I don't even know. Rick, the Metuchen, New Jersey Ford plant is only about 10 miles from where I live. My uncle worked there back in the 60s when these cars were built. Well, that's cool. That's why I just kind of shortened it up to say Munchie. I was like, I don't know. Richard, Roar, evening all. Glad you're here, Richard. Donnie Williams, T5 and variants, only way to fly. Thank you, Donnie. Dave says, I like the name Mock Dave. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Clark Clifford. Hi, Barry. Hi, Clark. Glad you're here. And Clark says, I think Dave number 54 would be a good name, especially if it's blue. That sounds like a little too much to put on. I don't know if everybody would get it. Richard, Dwight Douglas from Indiana, guessing you like DDs. Okay. Rusty, a few from Indiana today. Yep, that's a good thing. Rick, nice thing about putting a manual transmission, and it will be that not many people will know how to steal it. Let's hope that never happens. Let's see. Jefferson Miller, building my own 69 QM1, and it's been a complete stroke of luck that you've started Slither almost the same day. Thank you for putting all these videos together. I know it's a ton of work. Well, awesome. Glad you're here, Jefferson. I know that's a new name, and I'm glad you're getting stuff out of it, out of those videos. Tony Martinez got a 68 Mustang, but I got 2 projects in front of that one. Wish me luck. Good luck. I think right now my number count on Mustangs, what's it? Is it 5? I think I have 5 Mustangs right now. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5. Five of my Mustangs, not counting Slither. And the Camaro that need to be put together. So that's another thing I know. Somebody keeps asking me about the Camaro, and then maybe something it has to get taken care of, like taking, before I work on my mock, I may have to put the Camaro together and get it gone. Just get the sheet metal done on it and get it out of here. Also, Red Dave is probably going to go. That's that red 68 that I picked up a year or so ago. I don't know, 2 years ago. I'm gonna pull some parts off of that car and sell it. There's no sense in keeping that one around. That's the Red Dave car. That was a V8 car with a 3-speed manual. Somebody put Granada brakes on the front. It is a V8 car, but somebody put a 4-lug rear end under it. So I'll probably pull parts off of that for the Poco car, probably, and then sell it, get it out of here. Richard, before you spend money or work on that car, make sure the firewall VIN and the couple of body VINs match that plate. They do. That's the coolest part about it. Other than the condition of it, is the fact that the aprons, like the battery box apron, is not even rusted, which is almost impossible. I think I have a picture of that. Yeah, the engine bay. So yeah, look at that. It is in that good a shape. And the curve piece up above behind the battery where it curves out a little bit, the VIN number is right there. And this is the driver's side, and the VIN number is on that apron on the front. And it really does look that good. There is no doubt how solid this car is overall. Um, that was the picture I first saw of the car. And like I said, there's still uh, these are some of the new doors and fenders, the deck lid. Um, the floor pan. It is that solid. There's nothing wrong with any of that. So there's one patch put in on the passenger side front floor area, but it's all welded in, um, almost fully blended, so you can't even really notice it. And I'm not going to cut any of that apart. I just it's not worth it. It's just too solid. Troy, there's 47 watching and only 29 likes. Helps everybody out and hit the thumbs up. Yes, thank you for that. Dave Britton, hey Bear, I think I'm due for a second bill. Brand new grandbaby boy last night, 7.65 pounds. I'll give you 3 bells for that. Good for you. Good for you. Denny Alvey, Marty also has the Eminger invoice that, this is blah, blah, blah. I'm going to say that is the original document. Okay. Well, I'll probably get all the documentation I can just because I like it. I like having it. Rusty, I just received my Marty report for my 68 and ordered the door tag from them. It took a few months. Yes. Yeah, it's going to take a while to get all that stuff, and that's fine. I'm not worried about that. Jeff, awesome man. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. I so much appreciate you. I really do. I really, really do. Um, let me see here. So Nick is here. I don't know why it's kind of. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. Okay. Nick says hello, and oh man, I'm struggling to get the dang headlight bowls in this car. I just don't know why. Um, I don't know if I did a video on those or not. I don't know. I think what you have to do. Well, I'm sure you'll figure it out. You have to. Let me think now. I think I hooked the spring first. Pretty sure I hooked the spring first and then went to the purchase. Um, I don't know what's giving you a hard time, but there is a process to it. But glad you're here, Nick. Sorry. Derek Pro, remember the Elvis classic Fun in Acapulco? I probably have seen that movie, but I haven't don't recall seeing it in any kind of recent time, but I probably have seen that movie. Mike Wencho, have a fantastic night, everyone. Thank you, Mike. Glad you were here. Dwight Douglas, my 69 came with a FMX, also 351 Windsor 2 barrel. Okay. Well, maybe that's what's supposed to be in it. But I know that I'm really leaning towards that I want to say Tree Mac, the T5 5 speed. Danny Alvey still had a GT in '69. Um, okay. No, was it a sport roof or was it the coupe? I don't know what their how it was configured. So Bob Shoemaker late coming in. Computer just went nuts. Okay. Well, glad you're here, Bob. Don says congrats to Dave on the grandson. The shop. I'd like to see some work on the Camaro. I'm a Chevy man myself. Okay. Well, this is my priority. Just so you know, I'm gonna get Slither put together before anything else happens in here. Russ, I'll have to step up my game. I said because I only have 3 Mustangs in my stable. Yeah, Robert, I wish I could give one of them a home here. Well, yeah, I know it's difficult because like in Georgia, we don't need titles. Even though I have a title for, I actually have a title for the 67, and I have a title for the 69, but the other ones I don't have titles for. Georgia is fine with a bill of sale, and I know Texas doesn't work that way. Clark Clifford, unpossible, word of the day. Yes. Yes, unpossible. Dawn, it's got Zerk holes in the towers. Yeah, I know. I know. I'll have to fix that. Um, they did a decent job of cutting those in, but I'm not going to let that fly. Can't have that. And depending if I keep the stock suspension or not, if I don't know if I'm going to upgrade it, but I'm not going to cut the shock towers out. None of that will happen. It'll be kept together like it was made. I won't cut things apart just because it's there. Not going to do that. Steve Reed, nice car you just got. Thank you, Steve. Karsten, Seth Olson. Good evening, all. Good evening, Karsten. Glad you're here. Troy Justit. I got to cut out early. My daughter showed up and needs help with her car. Have a good evening. All right, thank you, Troy. Glad you were here. Derek, that was reference to the color. Get it? Oh yeah, I did. I got it. Fun in Acapulco, yes. Richard, never watched any of the Elvis movies. Hardly likes his music, so did not think watching a movie with him singing was a good idea. Oh well, you're probably the only other one of two people that maybe didn't like Elvis. Nick, it's the fiberglass nose, the holes that the trim ring tabs go into must be small or something because I can't get enough room to get the bowl adjustment screws in, even if I have them on the bowl. Oh, yeah, it's driving me nuts. I'll bet it is. And like trying to lean the bowl over to get them in the slots or having the screws in the bowls and guiding them into the tabs. Yeah, that is definitely not fun. And unfortunately, with the fiberglass stuff, it's probably critical that everything would be test fitted prior. I don't know if you did all that or not, because sometimes we get these parts and it's like, well, this is going to fit, it'll be fine, and then we come to find out something is slightly off, and then you're in a situation like this where you might have to do something else. Michael, was the FMX the cast iron tranny or just a HD version of a C4? I think it was the heavy duty C4. I think. I don't know for sure. I know there's two bell housings and there's two transmissions. But I really didn't look too hard at either one of them. I just saw them. They're sitting there. That's all I can tell you. Richard never understood why shops down south cut Zerk holes instead of buying a $2 grease gun adapter. LOL. Probably used $5 in oxyacetylene. When you say down south, I think you're talking about in the States, because I've seen cars from all over the U.S. that those holes have been cut. And, it's just crazy because you think about it. When they manufactured that, they should have known there would be a problem and put in 90-degree Zerk fittings. That's all you had to do. You don't because the Zerk fitting, when you're saying about an adapter, I mean, the Zerk fitting was pushing straight out into the side of the shock tower. There was nowhere to go with it. And so I know I did it on Jade. I put 90-degree Zerk fittings in just so I could, if I were, like we were going to grease those things, right? Something else would never do. Denny, 5,396 GT fastbacks made in 69. Okay. Well, maybe it's a little bit of both. I don't know. And I don't know what the difference is. Like what the GT had, other than we saw something that had heavy duty suspension. But I don't know what the other options were compared to a Mach One. Robert, my 66 had 90-degree Zerks put in at some point. Rarity, yep. Yeah, that's what I did. on Jade. Put those in as soon as I started putting it together. Nick, well, the test fit part wasn't on me, and I'm a little irritated considering I gave them the bowls for this exact reason. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Sorry, Nick. Captain Click, where's the best place to sell a Project 66 Mustang? Have lots of dollars for stuff to go up with it. My health won't let me do it anymore. Um, Hold on, I'm gonna try something tonight. Put in a cough drop to help with my throat because it's been a little rough. Where's the best place to sell it? That depends. Um, I actually have somebody asking me if I could find them a '65 V8 Mustang that was a driver, not restored, but drivable. Um, I know that 66 is probably not what they're looking for, but they were looking for a 65. I know that I've seen a bunch of stuff on Facebook Marketplace, stuff like that. Craigslist is always sketchy because you never really know what that's going to entail. Um, but I mean, that's your options are eBay, something like that, um, or um, if you're on Facebook. So there's not really Auto Trader. I think there's maybe some Auto Trader sites you could go to. There's a site called Bring a Trailer, so you can look that up. And basically, it's like, here's what I have, here's the price. You need a trailer to get it out of here, you know, that sort of thing. But I can ask other people. I don't know what state you're in or what condition it's in. But if you want to send me an email with some of that information, my email is on the bottom of the screen there. JoeDaddy'sGarage at gmail.com. No apostrophe in there. If you want to send me an email with some of that information, I can ask around. Let me know where you're located, what you want for it, what options, whatever you have done to it, all that sort of thing. And I'll be happy to ask around, see if I can't find somebody that's looking for one. So that's all I can do right now for you. Richard. Oh no, I just hardly ever seen it in the Northwest here, but saw it a lot when I was down south. Oh, okay. Yeah. Talking about the Zerk fitting holes. Dave Tyson, it was hard to get Zerks in there. Yeah, you had to do it like if you were taking the suspension out and replacing it, swap out those Zerks and put in the 90-degree ones. You'll be further ahead. Charles checking in. Glad you're here. Very late, but here. Super happy you got the 69. Slither is happy too. Yes. Yep. And that's another nice thing. Even though I have good solid measurements from the original Slither car, Cobra Jet, now I have a template that I can also verify where I'm at on this car. So that's a big advantage to that too. Rick Stevenson, FMX has a cast iron case, strong transmission. The biggest issue is that you can't get aftermarket shifters for it. Charlie guy at the Ford dealer I worked at said he had never seen one break. Okay, well that's good to keep in mind. Derek, in the old days, there was a lot of talk about Craigslist. Is that still around? Yeah, Craigslist is still around, but I don't know. I've approached some people from Craigslist, and sometimes you send a message or you contact them multiple times, and it just feels really really kind of sketchy. Yeah, you can tell some places it looks like a business, and that's okay. But then there's other times where um, they're not upfront about sharing information, or they want you to do something crazy with your phone, and it just a lot of people I feel like are avoiding Craigslist for the most part right now. Just really difficult sometimes. Rick Stevenson, wear out, yes, but not break. Probably why they put them behind big blocks. Okay. Chris Greenaway, Denny, the best is Danny, the best is in the Schmidt collection, triple black, 428, 4-speed, I believe. Right? Infernal Craftsman. Okay, I'm not sure what we're talking about there. 68 Orange Crate. Holes in the towers look way better than the ball peen hammer protrusions that my GTCS has. I'm debating cutting and patching. Yeah, I've patched up the ones on Jade before when I had it all apart. Made patches, welded them in, blended them out. And like I said, I put in 90-degree Zerks to eliminate having difficulty greasing stuff. Chris Greenaway is saying, Barry, how much for the 351 Cleveland? I don't know yet. I've got somebody local that knows I'm getting it, and they're in a Torino club. And so that person is my first person on the list at this point. But I'm unsure what they're bringing. I really don't know. I looked like on Marketplace and stuff. I didn't see much as people having them available. I know people are looking for them. They want them, but I really don't know what they're worth. So I'll say $22,000 as a start, and then we can go from there. That was always our joke at the body shop. When we did work for somebody, they would ask us, how much is it or what's it going to cost, and we would just say $22,000. Just that was our pat answer. Sorted. I found some shoulder adjustment screws that came in a full hardware kit. The ones that came with the nose are 1/2 inch longer. Okay. Well, hopefully that helps. Hopefully. Nick, my man, Chris Greenaway, Cleveland's rule. Yeah. Derek says, so like Marketplace. Yeah, it can be. But at least with Marketplace, you think you can look at their profile. You're pretty quick to spot fake profiles, I think. When they have like one friend and they only posted 2 things. It's like, I'm not even going to talk to you, dude. Chris, FMX is good in light duty applications, small block. Ford never offered the FMX on the 428, 429. Richard, a lot of people went to offer up. It's iPhone's Craigslist. Oh, I have not even tried that. Oh, Nick says they're already in. It helped. Oh, okay. Well, here's the easy bell. Good. Glad you get those in. I'm sure that makes you much happier. What was the other thing I was looking at? Somebody was asking a question. No, I don't know. Robert says OfferUp has nothing posted here in DFW. Everything is months old. Craig's is still going here. I don't do Facebook at all, so I don't know about it. Yeah. Michael Pagliarini, 351 Cleveland, Rhode Island. Seller is asking 600. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. 600 seems less than what I'd probably want to sell it for. But we'll see what happens as we go through this and get everything in place. So Nick was laughing, I guess, because I hit the easy bell for him. Richard, yeah, Nick, once you figure out the answer, it makes you angry. You didn't think of it 20 minutes ago. Yeah. Derek, true. Well, good luck with my mock. See you guys next time. Have a great week. Glad you're here, Derek. Clark, where would you be, Nick, without Joe Daddy's Garage? Yeah. See, just me talking while you're doing this helps solve the problem. See there? See, that's all it takes. You know what? I can tell you this. I can't tell you how many times I've had friends call me up, local friends call me up. Hey, my car is doing this, or my truck is doing that. Can I bring it by so you can hear it? And, tell me what's wrong with it or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, sure, come on by. Probably 8 out of 10 times they pull up I don't know what happened. It just went away when I was coming down your street and the noise went away. I said, yeah, sometimes that's all it takes. Just get close, and then the powers that be make the sound go away. um, that seems to happen a lot, a lot. Also, Nick says without Barry, Richard, the collective mind meld. Yeah, that's it. Chris says Barry was just asking. He wouldn't fit my build anyway. I was looking for a 71, 72 cast 351 Cleveland and build it to Boss 351 specs. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm guessing 74, but I don't know. I really don't know. Denny Elrock made a 4-barrel intake for the 2-barrel heads. The 2-barrel heads actually perform better. Well, that's interesting. I have I don't even know for sure. Um, I know I have a picture of the Cleveland, and yeah, I can't tell if it's a 2-barrel or 4-barrel intake on it. It's got a plate welded or bolted down to the top. And he's talking about for the 351 Cleveland. Okay. Robert, I got a call today from my mom. Said they were at a dealership looking at buying a car because the Camry threw a rod on the way to Oklahoma, and that I might have to pick them up. Oh, that's not fun. That's not fun. Dawn, my wife calls the Dawn. Wait a minute. Calls the Dawn smell. Once it wears off, I'll break it. It'll wait. It'll break again. I'm confused by that. My wife calls the Dawn smell. Once it wears off, it'll break again. Okay. I don't know what that means. Richard, I used to get the phone calls every single night from people wanting me to wave my magic wand over the phone to fix cars. I had to put my foot down after a friend called me at 3 a.m. to save him. Yeah, yeah. I don't even. Honestly, I rarely even answer my phone. I rarely even. If your number is not already in my phone, odds are I'm not going to answer it. You know, I leave it on vibrate, and most of the time I don't even notice it vibrating. If somebody calls me, leave me a message, and then we'll go from there. I'll try to call you back. That's about it. Or save him from a DUI breakdown. Okay, that's what Richard's saying. Karsten, I have finished up my '69 Buick Riviera since I was here last. It's late here in the European Union. Sent you an email, Barry. Okay. Um, I don't know why it's not here. I have two emails, but I don't see one from you, Karsten. I don't know. Let's see, Chris. Denny, the best 351 was the Boss heads. Okay. Nick Moss, usually my smell breaks stuff. Like people sense a smell, wallpaper's ability to stick, plant growth. What? I have no idea. You all are going off on some crazy tangent here. Charles, 351 Cleveland 2-barrel performed better below 5,000 RPM, but hang on, baby, after that with the 4-barrel closed chamber heads. The 4-barrel heads came in open chamber and closed. Okay. Dawn, 351 Cleveland typical 2-barrel heads have more mid-range power. 4-barrel heads better peak power. Okay, so that's just two back-to-back answers on that. That's cool. That works. Okay, so Karsten, now I get it. It's shown up. Ooh, that looks nice. I'm gonna have to pull those up on the screen here in just a second. Let me find a couple that I can delete because I know my inventory is full. I hope this opens because it's a different type of file. Okay, so there is Karsten's Buick. I love me a Riviera. I really do. And that's actually very close to what I wanted to do with the 68 that I had. I wanted to paint it kind of a brandywine burgundy color, but on the interior, I wanted to do like a buckskin. Thought that would look cool. But yeah, that's really nice. I like that. Yeah, those are cool looking cars. They're big cars. I'll say that they are really big cars. I had one. Well done, Karsten. Give you a bell for that. Let's see, Doyle. Late, but here we're working on a 69 Cutlass trunk trim delete plug holes. Thanks for the advice last week, Barry. Okay, yeah, you're welcome. Leonard, saw your video yesterday and tried to send you a message about it, but couldn't because it was a private conversation. What's up with that? Um, I don't know. You talking about the link that I sent you? I don't know if it will allow for comments on that, but you saw the video, so that was the important thing. So I don't know what the conflict is with that, Leonard. But you're free. You can email me at any time. You know that. So you can respond to just send me an email. But I don't know how it works with the way that I sent you that video. I don't know how the response works with that. So haven't because I only use that uh, for two people. I only have access to that video. So maybe it's because it's private. Richard two-barrel heads usually had smaller runners and valves though, but can be reworked. Okay. Nick says sweet Buick, and I love that interior. It is really cool, and it's got bucket seats. So it's probably is it a GS? Can't tell if it has a GS badging on it or not. But those cars. I know my '68 had a down in the corner of the. I have a video of it on YouTube, in fact. But down in the corner of the quarter panel, side marker light was a round side marker light with an R in the middle, lit up. It was pretty cool looking. Pretty cool looking. Richard, did you get any NOS parts with the Mach One purchase? Um, the car itself is NOS. um, I did well. It comes with the original fenders, the original doors that are going to need reworked, which is minor. Um, I think the hood's original, the deck lid's original. Um, yeah, I mean, there's not any like new old stock parts like in Ford boxes. There's none of that, but there's a lot of parts. So may not be the answer you were considering, but I mean, there's two new aftermarket doors, two aftermarket fenders, um, and there's a bunch of accessory pieces. There's like suspension parts and new disc brake setup and brake booster and trim pieces. Some of it is like kind of NOS, but yeah, it's there's really no original Ford parts in a box. So Charles says, Don, saw your video. Bummer on the rear. Oh, I didn't see the video, so I'm kind of out of the loop at the moment. Leonard says, yeah, yes, and yeah, I saw it, and man, what I find something that you've been wanting for years. Good luck with it. Definitely good. Looking forward to seeing your post on it. Thumbs up. Yes, thank you, Leonard. Richard, great answer, Barry. The whole car is NOS. Karsten, I'm up to finish some paperwork on a new car. Then I saw you were live. Okay. Yeah, you're over in, of course, I remember you're like in Europe somewhere. My mind's saying Sweden, but I don't know if that's correct or not. Um, I do like that. Those are cool looking cars. They really are. So, as I was saying, I'm going to make another. Well, I'm assuming Roger's going to want to ride along. Um, oh, okay. Sorry, Karsten, Denmark. Sorry about that. I was wrong. Sorry. Um, but we will be making the second road trip up to get all of the other pieces and parts and whatever else may be there. I know that I've talked with the seller since we messaged back and forth, let him know that we made it back safely and all that. And he had dug around after we left and found the door glass. So, because I didn't know what was there, I was surprised that I found the quarter windows and like the bracket, the whole assembly, nothing wrong with it, not a speck of rust on that thing. He found the door glass. He said there's no windshield, which is not a problem. And I know there were boxes with window trim, windshield deck lid, all, windshield front and rear trim. Um, there's also a chin spoiler, new chin spoiler. There is a wing, the deck lid wing. There's a brand new one of those in a box. But he's not sure if he has the back window for the car. So I'm going to have to ask him about that. If not, I'll have to find uh, find a back glass, which they're available. And I have to check and see if he has any kind of wiring harness because not that it, not that I need the original, um, but it's not. There's nothing in the car. There's not a wire in the car, which isn't a major concern because if I have to, I'll get a new wiring harness. But it would be nice if there was something to work with, and it may just been cut out and tossed. Who knows? Um, the dash is up there still. The main underpiece of the dash, the headlight or the cluster, the clock for the passenger side. Um, there's still, there's a lot of stuff. There really is a lot of stuff up there. Roger says, "Yep, I'm in. Cool." Dawn, thanks, Charles. Betsy's rear, mine is okay for now. Okay. Leonard, how much is left to get? Well, there's two engines. There's still the two engines, two transmissions, the original doors, the one original fender, one aftermarket fender, all the interior panels, um, some carburetors, some air cleaners, some uh, brackets, and there's some other suspension pieces. There's there's a set of hubcaps that are not. I don't think they're not for this '69. I think they're for a later car, but he's given me those too. Um, I don't. There's. I'd have to look at all the pictures because I took pictures of everything. Power steering pump that comes with it. There's another one there. Another front valance. Of course, the dash, as I mentioned. Oh, it's got a bumpers. There's bumpers. I didn't even realize there were bumpers with it. Um, the brackets for radiator. There's a radiator with it. There's torque converters in the boxes. Two torque converters. There's another heater box. The dash pad, rock guard, the threshold moldings. Um, there's just tons and tons of stuff. Yeah, there's the rear valance. Yeah, there's the two transmissions. I know it's hard to see that, but there's the two transmissions. Um, there's the cluster and the dash pieces, glove box. Um, there is Yeah, front valance. What's that? I don't even know what's in that package. Oh, that's the rear quarter trim pieces. I mean, there's another door. That's another new door. Wait a minute. So there's an aftermarket door and an aftermarket fender there. So maybe that's a passenger door. Bell housings. What was the other one I wanted to show you? Windsor, Cleveland. Bumper brackets. The headlight buckets. There's hinges, hood hinges, deck lid hinges. I don't know what those hubcaps are for. Anybody recognize those? I don't know. I know the picture's not that great. Let me see if I can enlarge that a little bit. I don't know what those hubcaps are from. But there's a set of those. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff still up there. Rick, if you aren't going to use the aftermarket doors and fenders, would they be usable on Crunchy? Well, probably not. We're investigating some panels for that. These are probably older panels, so they may not be even as good as the more, because some of these parts were from 20 years ago, and or maybe close to 20 years ago, and so we know the quality was even worse back then compared to even what we're making today. So I don't know if any of that's going to cross over or not. Bob, my 73 Mach 1 had the 351 Cleveland HO engine 4-barrel, and it was hard to keep the tires from spinning at any aggressive throttle use. Top speed was unknown because speedometer was pegged. Okay. Randall, hey, from Mountain Green, Utah. Glad you're here, Randall. Hope all is well with you. Terry, maybe you could rent a box truck to go and go and get the rest of the parts. Well, I have a trailer. I have a 6x12 trailer that I'm going to use. I think it'll be fine with that. Richard, yeah, Bob, Mustang owners get the most improvement on their cars by reworking the rear suspension. Leonard says, sounds like a trailer full. Yeah, it's going to be. Tim, Cleveland motors are the best power and smoother power band good on the highway. Okay. Well, I'll take your word for that. Jefferson, best way to clean the steering linkage 69Q. I have original idler arm and pitman arm, and without a blasting cabinet, trying to be as efficient as I can. Lots of odd shaped parts naturally. That's a really good question. Depending on what you've got, if it's rust or if it's grease, some people will make if you look online, make a vinegar mixture to remove rust. Some will use molasses to remove rust. Some will do an electrolysis type of system to get the rust off. Now, grease, you may end up soaking them in. Probably your cheapest way to do it is get a couple gallons of gas and just soak them in gas and poke at it and brush at it, until you knock that stuff off. But that's probably some of the options. You could get some like Safety Clean or Carb Cleaner and try something like that. But the cheap way out is usually like something like gasoline to get the grease and stuff off. Richard, you could build 2 Mach 1s with all those parts. Yeah, it feels that way. And it says, get a hand blaster. Leonard says 70 Mustang. And Richard says 80s Mustang hubcaps. I don't think they're 80s. Charles says 70 hubcaps, I think. And Denny Alvey says 70 Mach 1 hubcaps. Okay. I think the consensus is 70 Mach 1 hubcaps. Well, if anybody needs a set of hubcaps for 70 Mach 1, which seems like a real oddity, doesn't it? For a Mach 1, you wouldn't think you'd order it with hubcaps. So that might be a rare item, right? I don't know. Tim Miller, clean parts, rust vinegar 30%, and wash and prime. Um, so clean parts, rust. Okay, so vinegar, 30% vinegar, and I guess in water is what you're trying. Was what you're posting there, I think. Carson, I need some small trim pieces for the Buick Riviera. Is there a good place to get it from? That I don't know. I don't know what the resource is for Rivieras. Um, I mean, depending on what you need, I don't know if it can be found over here in the States or not. But you could maybe send me some, you know, send your list over, and maybe I can help you. I don't know. Danny Alvey, check the center of the hubcaps, as some had a forward crest. They were used on the Torino. I think when I looked at these, I think I could be wrong. I was wrong once before. Um, Let me look here real quick. Nope, it's got a Mustang in the center. Got a Mustang in the center. Yeah, that seems odd that you would order a Mach 1 with hubcaps. Leonard, I've got two big totes for removing rust. Yep. Dave Tyson GM pulling a Ford home. Yeah. Yep. Richard says evaporust as a cleaner to get the rust off. And Charles says decades ago the best degreaser was the power washer at the car wash. That is true. That is true. Okay, let me go back up here a second. Um, yeah, I don't know if that's. Yeah, I can't even. I started to go through the boxes um, the other day because obviously all that stuff has to go somewhere. So I have to organize. I already have what would be the paint booth area. It's already holding pretty much all of the Slither parts and pieces. I did organize that to give it its own section, and then I started bringing in the boxes that I had from the Suburban to create a new section for my Mach. And yeah, I'm liking that name. I think I might just have to stick with that. But I'm not going to cross over any of that stuff, and all the boxes are identified, so it's not like it's a big concern. But that was something Roger was like. I don't think it was Roger, maybe somebody else. Said, I don't know how you're going to keep all this stuff separated. The funny part is, like, um, the 67, all the pieces and parts are in the house garage. They've got, I mean, there's an engine in there and a transmission and a bunch of stuff that's in there. So it's completely out of this space. And then I have I have some out in my little barn, fenders and different things. And I have another little storage building that it's basically slap full. Let's see. Delirious Creations. I got a Mustang I wanted you to look at. I think you'd like to buy it. I got the original paperwork and the keys. Looks like the one sitting behind you. Well, you could send me an email so I can see what you have. That's the email address at the bottom of the screen, joedaddysgarage@gmail.com. You know, Send me the information, what you have, what you want for it, all that sort of thing. And if I'm not interested, maybe I know somebody who is. So it doesn't hurt to ask. So glad you're here, Delirious. Let me know what you have. Dave Britton, here's an odd one. I saw a '69 Mustang Fastback on Copart last year. It was a Code E. They only made 50 of them, and it was cheap. It was a Fastback with a 6-cylinder in it. That would be worth having, to be honest. That would be worth having. Yeah, that would have been something to get a hold of. Leonard, if you can find it, we used to we used to, I don't know, I'm missing some words there. We used to use a constraint called GUR, but wear gloves with it. Okay. So GURR. Dawn says Maisie because it's a Maisie Mach. I like that, Dawn. That's pretty cool. It's amazing. It's a Maisie Mach. Yep. Danielle, years ago at my dad's car lot, we used to use gunk in a gallon can mixed with kerosene or coal oil. If you were born in the 30s, LOL, mixed in equal parts. Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, I could see that working. But yeah, kerosene and gunk. Yeah. Russ said, never thought of using an attached garage for parts. My wife said, heck no. Well, yeah. I've got parts everywhere. I've got so many parts. Richard, careful opening emails with attachments. You are getting larger as a channel, and people will be wanting you to download hacks so they can steal your channel, even if it's only temporary. That's good info. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I already get, I get just regular email. I have several email accounts, and I get all kinds of stupid stuff. And usually you can look at it and go, not even gonna, I just block it. Just block, 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 block. Get rid of all that stuff. Um, but you know, I'll put it through the proper processes and make sure it's nothing dangerous. Let's say. But anyway, um, yeah, that's really where we're at right now. Oh, let's see. Leonard says, "I will make your skin. It will take your skin off, but you can use a pressure washer to clean it with." Oh, okay, that GUR stuff. That that okay. Yeah. Um, so there's some things that I'll have to address moving forward with my mock or Maisie mock or whatever I end up actually calling it. Um, there's some pieces that like there's a package tray that looks like there's like a little U channel or something. It's supposed to go in there somewhere. I don't see that. Um, so I have to try to see if that piece is part of in the kit or in the boxes and stuff. And of course, down the road, I will have to get an interior kit. Get that all taken care of. Um, right now, I think the back seat is in good shape, but the front seats they got to get redone. There's no way around it. So it's going to need new foam and new covers. You can see the driver's seat's pretty rough. Um, and there's a couple little dents in the roof, very minor. Oh, there you can see the bottom of the fender where it's got a little bit of rust in the fender. But I did repair work on that on Jade, same kind of repair, and you know, it was good to go. There's no other rust. I can't wait to actually get it up on the lift, and I want to do a video on it for the channel. Um, I did, like I said, I did a video for my patrons so they could see exactly what I'm showing. But I'll have to do another video for YouTube, and I'll point this out. There is some interesting things going on with Patreon right now. They have been increasing the capabilities. In the past, I had a hard time using Patreon because if I wanted to put a video up, I had to create the video, then I had to put it on Vimeo, and then put the link from Vimeo on the Patreon and put a password on that so that anybody who wanted to see it had to go through several steps to see the video. And a month or two ago, maybe 3 months ago, Patreon they changed it to where you could just put the video right on Patreon, which is fantastic. They've also added other things on there. So they're increasing the capability of what Patreon can do. And I know there's a lot of people that follow me on YouTube, obviously, but I'm starting to see more interest or more value to what Patreon has to offer. And not that I know exactly what that means in the end. Whether I'll be trying to put more videos on Patreon or not, I don't know yet. But it's the nice part about Patreon is, you know, they my patrons support me through that, and I think I have 50 or so people that actually help me out, and uh, Patreon takes a percentage of that, but it's not anywhere near what YouTube does. YouTube, basically the money that I make, whatever I actually make, they take half, which is just terrible. Um, and Patreon takes I don't know what it is, maybe 5%. So that's so much better. Um, anyway, just some food for thought on the process, uh, as to how that's going. They're doing a lot to make it much better. Richard says, I mentioned that because Delirious Creations has that nudes thing in his pic. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, thank you. I can't see that on my screen, so I don't know I can barely make out half this stuff. Todd DeBockler, sorry. I read it as Blocker. Todd DeBockler says, hi all. Hi, Todd. Glad you're here. Leonard says he found out the hard way about that stuff taking skin off. That's not fun. Isaac, oh, Barry, you're going to need another garage. Yeah, I know. I really do. I really do. Jefferson, would power steering setup work with center of linkage for 69Q, or would it need to be replaced either way? This sounds like tote and soak, scrub, and paint. Yeah, pretty much. How to keep rust from starting in the future. Well, one of the things I've used, and you could use it, is I have some rust encapsulator. This Eastwood stuff here, rust encapsulator, and I've seen some imagery of this where they've used it on like a rear axle, different parts underneath the car, and it seems to put on a decent finish. So you might look at something like that. Richard, he does not need an extra garage, just more yard. Yeah, pretty much. Leonard says, so which Mustang is going away? Well, the red 68 is going to go away. I'm going to pull some parts off of it that I need for the blue 68, the Poco, as I called it. Probably some trim pieces, and just going to sell that car as is. And then once I get Jade, everything done on Jade, I will sell Jade. I'm pretty confident I will be selling Jade. I say that. It's going to be tough to sell Jade, but I may have to because I don't have anywhere else to put cars. Dave Britton, Joe Daddy's Garages will have to be the new channel name. Richard's chuckling. Yeah, Leonard says, yeah, Mustangs are me, huh? Yeah. Robert, I'm now a big fan of Zepp 505 degreaser. Works great at removing asphalt road tar from vinyl flooring. Long story, but it works. Okay. I don't think I've tried Zepp, but I'll take your word for it. Dave Britton, Zepp has some fantastic products. Okay. So 2 shout outs for Zepp. Okay. The cough drop helped, but I'm going to have to go. My voice is starting to get rough again. And it's tough, when you're when you're talking to yourself on the screen for basically an hour and a half. And Roger might have fallen asleep by now. That's what he was doing. We were driving up to North Carolina, and I was talking about TV shows and watching a special on Evel Knievel, and I looked over, and Roger's like, yeah, But in his defense, he had a long night and didn't get much sleep, so he recovered, so it was good. Tim, if your 69 has glue inside your glass and can change to 70 bolted glass. Oh, wait a minute. What? If your 69 has glue in side door glass and can change to 70 bolted glass if 69 glass needs glued. Um, I'm guessing you're asking if that's an option. I'm gonna have to say I guess it is. I don't know. I haven't gotten to that point on those on the glass yet. So anyway, thank you all again for being here. I appreciate everybody, leaving comments and thumbs up and all that stuff to help the channel continue to go. I wish YouTube was more beneficial, but it is what it is, and I'll continue doing what I'm doing. So I'll be back next Monday at 7, and until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.